Mission is helping kids stay in school. And these kids, they are from the countryside, so they live very far away from the city. And a lot of the times they're forgotten. They live away, they stop going to school because of not having a lot of money, and then they just don't go to school. They start working early, and we want these kids to stay in school as long as possible so they can have a better future when they grow up.
I love it. This foundation is an amazing foundation. I've been following you guys, and I've been to a few events, and it's close to my heart because kids in Brazil, myself and Laney, once we were kids in Brazil too, so we understand very well what they're going through.
Yeah.
And so, what's the goal?
The goal is to help as many kids as possible because right now we help over 200 kids, and some of those kids, they would not be in school at all if it weren't for us and the people that help us, because all we do it's because people they make donations, we do events to raise money and to make sure these kids stay in school the whole year, like we were talking before we started. And just last week we found out that there was this kid that he wasn't going to school, and we were like pretty much at the mid-year of the school year in Brazil, and he wasn't going to school because there wasn't any school supplies.
That's crazy. And Laney, what are the top reasons why those kids are not going to school? Number one, school supplies.
Yeah, and the thing is, the families, they don't have enough money to provide for a lot of things. So they need to eat. And a lot of times, if they take the money to buy school supplies, they're not going to have the money to get food. If you're going to school, you need shoes, you need to have clothes. And one time I found out that there was this kid, he came to school without shoes, sandals at all. And the teacher's like, why don't you have sandals? And he's like, well, it broke and I wanted to come to school. So the teacher got money from her own, salary, and she got sandals. A lot of the kids, they wear flip-flops throughout the year. It's rainy, it's sunny, they have flip-flops because that's what they can afford. And that's why it's so hard for them to buy school supplies. In the U.S., and it's hard for people to understand, but school supplies is not that expensive. It's not expensive here, and a lot of the schools here, like elementary school, I didn't have to buy notebooks or pencils for my kids. The school provided. But in Brazil, it's different.
And you touched like really good point, because over here, if you buy the cheapest school supplies like Walmart stuff,
you can go to the Dollar Tree.
You can go to Dollar Tree and you pay like 90 cents in a notebook. That is not the reality in Brazil, right?
No. In Brazil, just to get started, like to have a backpack, and they have like this list the schools give to the parents, like, okay, this is all that the kids need. And a lot of the parents actually make payments. I don't know if you knew that.
Payment plans?
Yeah, payment plans to be able to pay for all the school supplies.
Yeah. I think it's important to emphasize to our followers that we're talking about families in Brazil that are literally surviving.
Yeah.
Right? And some of those families, they don't even know what they're going to eat next month, where that money is going to come from. Is that right?
Yeah. And like if you go to our website or social media, you see their houses. And a lot of those houses, they don't have a bathroom inside.
Or a shower.
Or a shower. They do everything outside with a bucket, And it's hard. The way they live, it's really hard for them.
I love what you do. I absolutely do. I have the mentality, I always wanted to be rich in life. And some people, my loved ones always told me, Anderson, you can't focus in having money because money is not happiness. And I agree with them. Money is not happiness. But you
can do things.
Yes,
can
you
help
know
others
better than me and better than many people the true happiness that comes when you get to one of those really humble homes with school supplies. How do you feel about it?
I've cried many times. I try not to cry in front of them. But I go home. Sometimes on my way home, I cry because every time I go there, you would think people living like that, they would be sad and they would be complaining about their lives. But that's not the case. Every time I go and I visit families because they live too far and they don't have a way to get to me. And they don't have the buses, the school buses that usually take them to school because they are like a break from school, taking a break. And we go to their homes and they're so happy and they're so grateful. They want to give us something. That's what gets to me. It's because they always want to give us something. They don't have much. So what they do, they go to their yard and whatever they have, it's fruit or vegetables that they're growing. They're like, please take this. It's their way of saying thank you. And I learned that I should never say no. I should just accept because for them, it's a big thing. To be able to have something to give back to me just as a thank you. And they're always so happy. I've learned so much with those people. You have no idea.
I have no idea, or maybe just 1% of idea because I saw some of your videos. Mm-hmm. And I came from poverty in Brazil, but my poverty was the poverty of a poor neighborhood mm-hmm. in a city. We did have electricity, we did have bathrooms, I went to school. I still didn't have the luxury life, but the kids you're helping, it blows the mind of even most of Brazilians.
Yeah, it does.
Because we're talking about people with no water, no bathrooms. And it looks like some houses don't have electricity, or am I wrong?
Yeah, some don't. And some don't have like walls like you see here with wood. Like there was this house, it was something, I think it's called tarp that they put around.
Yeah, it's a tarp.
Yeah, like with few pieces of wood, and that's the house. And when it rains, like there's no cement like floor, it's just the ground.
Just like dirt.
Dirt, yeah. And when it rains, the water goes through the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you're starting with. There are many things that they need help with, right? Yeah. But you picked one thing, which is education.
And I always go back to the cycle. Because many of those families, the parents, they grew up there. They didn't go to school because, as themselves now, their parents didn't have the money for them to stay in school. So they started working early and they grew up, they had kids, and now the kids are in the same place. Some of these kids and those families, they try to leave the place. They go to a different state, and then when they try to get a job, what happens? Oh, do you have any experience with computers? No. Do you know you don't even know how to write a resume. How are you going to get a good job? So what happens? They go back to the same place. So we want to stop that cycle, staying there. We want the kids to believe that they can get out of there. They can go after something and have a better future. When we started this work, I always ask the kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? We all have that question. And a lot of the kids had no answer. You know why?
They have no reference around them.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Have dreams? Sure, because in their minds, it's just a dream. So, but now, because every time I go back, I try to talk to the kids and Thomas and the whole group try to tell them, don't give up on your dreams. It can happen. I grew up like really close to that area, so I'm here now. One of my dreams was to do something that would help people. And I tell them, guess what? I'm living my dream. You can too. Go after it. And now when we go back and we ask the kids now, they'd say, oh, I want to be a doctor because I want to help my family. I want to be a teacher. I want to be, So they have an answer now. That makes me really happy. Something's changing.
I love it. In other words, I think we get so used to education, we think that it's just a diploma, but it's deep. It's a way for those kids to know who they are. and who they can become. Because, well, you just said that it's very serious. You said that they don't have an answer. That's because they don't know who they can become. And poverty does that to people. Sometimes it makes people in those surviving circumstances to wonder who they really are.
Yeah. And one thing that I like about you, because I heard some of your story, and you make me think of some of those kids. And like you said, you didn't live like that, but you didn't have a lot growing up, right? Like me. But look where you are today. What would have happened if you didn't believe in what you wanted in life? Like, things could get better, you know. Now you have this company that carries your name, you know. That's huge in the US. Like, as a kid, when you look back, would you ever think that that would be the case now? Like, years.
That's funny you said that. I did a post 2 days ago talking about it. Those exact same words, where I'm on the stage introducing my company to about 200 entrepreneurs. And on the subtitles I wrote, had you told me who I would become when I was a kid, it would have seemed impossible. Now my mission is to teach those kids. So in a way, we share the same mission.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like the way you want to help other people believe in themselves. And that's what we want for those kids. It's like, hey, I can do it. I can be at Anderson, you know, in life.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. Me personally, for those of you who don't know, I'm the owner of Anderson Builders. So we do remodels and we build homes. And I came from poverty too, just like Laney. Laney also has a beautiful story, and I'm sure she's going to share more about it. But one struggle I have is, it may sound funny, but I don't understand. I struggle sometimes to understand why there is no more people wanting to be rich. And everyone tells me, oh, it's because I don't need money to be happy. And I'm like, okay, but tell me what's your dream? Especially here in the United States, I have family members and friends. What do you want for your life? And it's always the same answer. I just want to be happy. I just want to have my house. I just want to have money to travel. And I just want to be happy. And that's not the case with me. And I think the reason is because of the pain that we went through. And I always tell them, dude, if I only have a house, if I only have money to travel, if I only have my own health, if only my own little family is happy in my little bubble, I'll be miserable. Because I know where I grew up. And I know the amount of kids that need me to be rich. Because there are school supplies to buy. There are health plans to help to provide. There are homes to build for people who are living under, what do we even call that? I don't know if we can call it. It's a home, but it's not a house. And so that's where my drive comes from. That's why I have that feeling, that drive of, no, I want more, because I want to be able to do more, like you guys are doing right now.
Yeah. It's like you said, you know, money doesn't bring happiness. What makes me happy, it's helping kids. Unfortunately, without money and donations and all of that, we can't. Like, we can help some, but we want to help a lot more than 200 kids.
Oh, way more.
Yeah.
I hope so. You know, one of the mental blocks I had to overcome in my life was that phrase, money doesn't bring happiness. Because that phrase created a thing in my brain where I thought money was unhappiness. And I had to educate myself. It's like, money is neutral. Just like a TV. Can a TV bring happiness?
Depends on what you're watching.
Depends on what you're watching. Depends on what you're using that for. Money is the same thing. Can money bring happiness? No. Depends what you're using it for. If you're using just to buy luxury cars. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Where is the money coming from? How have been your efforts to raise money in? So
we try to do a lot of things. Like we have the website where anyone can go. It's suppliesforabetterfuture.org. Anyone can go and donate any amount, $5, $10, And we also have packages where you can actually buy a kit, which buys it's $40, and you buy a backpack full of school supplies for a kid. We have events, like we have one coming up on September 6th, and so that event's also gonna have a dinner where we're gonna be talking about what we do, the projects, because yes, we help with school supplies, but we have projects to help with more stuff. Like, we know the families don't have a lot of food. Sometimes we bring food to some of the families. We do bake sales. It's called Food for Food, where people come here, they buy the food, and then use the money to buy food in Brazil. And then we know that it's not a lot, and it goes really fast, the food we get to them. So we're doing a community garden at one of the schools we help, where the families are going to be able to go there and cultivate and learn and grow vegetables and stuff that they can consume, them and their kids. But yeah, that the ways we raise money is through events, donations, and sponsors. Sponsors can go and say, well, I want to help with this amount per year or per month, or just I want to help this many kids, and you can just make a donation.
That's awesome. So here's the invite. Either you're watching, donate $1, $2, $1 million,
yeah,
10,000, whatever you can.
Helps. Any amount helps these kids.
When are you going next to Brazil?
I'll be in Brazil on the first week of December. That's right at the end of the school year. And then we're going to get the school supplies to the kids to start next month. After that, they're going to start the 2025.
Okay, so they start like 1st of February or something, right?
This year, they started in January.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we were actually there, and because...
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Great reminder. In Brazil, the school year is from January to December. Yeah. So you're not confused. And so keep going, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, so we were there just a few weeks before school started, and it's in the state of Pará, so sometimes the time that school there starts is different from different states, and they kept changing the date, and some students, they're like, oh my gosh, we have a week and we don't have the supplies, and they're like, we got you, and we got the supplies before it started.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And let me see, what else would you like to cover here? There's so much that you have to say.
It's just if you ever feel like you want to help a kid, just if you have any questions, we have social media, School Supplies for a Better Future Foundation. You can find us anywhere, Facebook, Instagram. We can answer any questions anyone have. And if you want to make a donation, go to the website. Like I said, any amount helps. And we just use everything to help the kids.
Oh, good question. So, yeah, there are people who... Is there anything else apart from the financial aspect that you guys may need?
You can actually donate supplies. We take supplies with us. And people can come with us to Brazil if you ever want to come. And if you want to get your hands dirty at the community garden, if you have knowledge of garden, everybody's welcome.
Oh, that's cool. And where is the community garden in Brazil?
It's in the state of Pará. It's in one of the schools we help. To get there, it's like dirt road. There's no asphalt. It's not a nice ride. But the experience is awesome when you see the kids and they look at your face, and it's just, there's nothing compared to that.
That's awesome. I like the idea. I'm going to talk to my wife today about us buying tickets and coming to Pará.
Yeah, it's an adventure for sure, but it's a nice one.
Oh, no, it's a great one. We're very excited about all you're doing. I do have another good question for you. So what is the best story you have? I know you have many, but what is the one that to this day touches you deeply?
I think this one, and I hope I don't get emotional. Like I said, the people there, they've taught me a lot. This work has taught me a lot for sure. But like, people are really grateful. And so when we go to Brazil, we also help with food. And last year, we went there. We went to see this family, and we brought some food baskets, which, just for you guys to understand, the stores already sell these pre-made baskets with all the
home supply, like food supplies,
yeah,
like
food
rice,
supplies, like
beans.
all the stuff the Brazilians eat day by day.
We call it cesta básica, right?
Yeah, cesta básica. So we took some food to this family, and we just knew they needed. We didn't know how much they needed, but we got there, and the lady came out of the house, and when she saw us with the food, she started crying, and I didn't understand that it was because of the food. I thought something happened. She's like, no, I'm crying because no one knew how much we needed the food. I didn't tell anyone. I prayed last night. I prayed to God because I don't want to be asking people like, hey, give me food. And next day we were there with the food, and she gave us hugs and everything. And then they had like these tangerines tree, and like, no, you gotta get some. I'm like, okay, I'll take the tangerines. And then a few days after, we had a meeting with some of the volunteers there, and I found out that that same family, they got half of the food they received, and they gave to another neighbor that we didn't know also needed food. But they found out that this neighbor was going through hard times, and they shared half. She was crying because they didn't have much, and we find out that she still gave some. Just for you to see that for us to help someone, we don't need much. And I'll never forget that. I don't need much, but I can still share what I have with other people.
That is very beautiful.
Yeah.
That is very beautiful. You did a good job in not getting too emotional, but you got me too emotional.
Yeah, you see a lot of things that you go home, and like I said, I try not to cry in front of anyone when we're there doing this work. But on my way home, when I get home, when I'm going through pictures and videos, it's hard not to cry.
And how do we solve poverty in the world? You have the main answer, which is education.
Yeah.
And you're working so people can have secular education that we call in Brazil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what else do you think that the community needs? Why are people living in that situation? It's a combination of many factors: city, government,
and the government for sure. Because, like I said, like the school, they didn't have computers. We are trying to raise money, and computers are very expensive in Brazil. I found out that computers in Brazil actually end up being more expensive than computers here, even though the dollar has so much more value. And the people, I think they need knowledge of things so they can make money. And that's why we started with the community garden, because, Pará, they grow. It's easier to grow a lot of things in Pará than other states. So if they learn how to grow things, maybe they can grow enough that they can sell things. They can sell vegetables and other things in the city. A lot of people, they have to go to the city to even work, but it's a way. So we're trying to help these people learn to do different things, so maybe they can find a better way to make money, and provide to themselves, to the families and the kids.
And that's awesome, because that is a short-term relief too. It's something that can turn out.
And we're always evolving, we're always thinking of a new project that would help the community, And just like I said, we have a lot of volunteers. They are all members from that community. They see what we do and they want to help. And these are people that they don't even get any help themselves, but they want to help the others. And we keep growing.
And that's beautiful. So you said that people within that same community, I'm assuming some of those people aren't even wealthy, right?
No, they just they have enough that they don't need us to give the school supplies. They have their jobs. They don't make a lot, but hey, I want to be part of this. I want to help you. What can I do? And some of them offered their tools because they're farmers. So we didn't have to buy because to get the garden ready, there's a lot that they need to prepare the soil, and they need tools to do certain things that I don't know. I'm learning too, and they are offering their own things to make this happen.
That is awesome. Well, Laney, congratulations on everything that you and Thomas, your husband, have done so far. That is very noble. You have already changed the lives of many people by doing something simple that it's getting big in a good way. It's getting big because it's a big cause. It's very important. And I would love to remind what Jesus Christ said. When you do to one of those little ones, you have done it unto me. And I can see that it's something that Heavenly Father is with you, and it's helping you guys to get that across.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
No problem. It's my pleasure. And I am Anderson, the owner of Anderson Builders. We give them full support to Laney, and we are inviting you to participate either with donations or by sharing or being involved in this cause. And I myself will do both, and I'm very excited. Thank you again, Laney, and I'll see you at the dinner event.
Yeah.
Maybe before we close, let's talk a little bit about that. So what day is that going to be?
It's September 6th. It's going to be here in Sandy. And it's going to be from 6:30 to 9:30. And we're going to have this awesome dinner. And we're going to have live auction. We're going to talk about all of the projects we have. We're going to have like cultural presentation. So it's going to be really nice, really good.
And where can we get the tickets?
So you can go to our website, suppliesforabettafuture.org, and events, under events. The first event that's going to show up is going to be the dinner fundraiser, and you just go there and get your tickets. Dinner is already included. Everything's included.
At the day of the event, we will be taking financial donations.
Yes, we will.
What will be the methods of payment?
All methods, Venmo, debit cards, credit cards, like in our website, we accept all cards anyways, but you're also going to have the option of Venmo because it's something that a lot of people prefer.
Very convenient.
Yeah, we're going to provide all of that to you.
At the day of this beautiful event, will you be taking physical donations like school supplies or anything else?
School supplies would be a little harder for people to take with them since they're going for a formal dinner. But we do have a physical location that if you want to send school supplies, you can. We actually got school supplies from other states. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again. And that's it, guys. More details, all the information will be on the descriptions. And we hope to continue to see this project growing. And thank you for everyone who has watched, who has contributed, and is still going to contribute, so more kids can receive the blessings that they deserve.